Hi folks, and if you'd watched the polyphonic multi-timbral ARP video, you'll remember that I recorded a note from the ARP Odyssey to create a pad. I needed some polyphonic action, so I recorded a note, dropped it into the sampler in Cubase and gave myself a pad. I didn't mention anything in the video because it wasn't relevant, but I do remember when I was doing that little tune using all sounds from the ARP Odyssey that the pad could have been better, and that got me thinking that I wanted to try that again. Basically this is what I've done, and this is, if you want to do this, it's a very easy method to create very lush pads, so that's what we're going for here. So basically there's the ARP Odyssey. I just recorded a C note, very simple. I recorded them various tones multiple times and came up with this, right? I'll just go through a few of these. Nothing fancy. Some of them have got some filter movement, LFO stuff, some of them don't. I wasn't like putting in a great deal of thought. I just thought I'll sample a few tones and see what happens. And I'm perfectly fine with the tone changing and moving around a bit. And I recorded each tone is 8 bars long at 125. So if you're going to do this, I recommend you hold down the note for quite a bit of time. Okay, so you get the angle there, right? And what I then did, you see, I've got just some of them here, and then I decided to layer them. Just some random, like I say, I wasn't putting in like a great deal of thought into this. So I would get something like this. So this is 3 of the tones. I've panned left and right 2 of them. Not hard left and right, but nearly. And one's in the middle. To create a kind of stereo effect, right? Now bear in mind, these are not the same tones, they're slightly different each time. I've got one here that's got 4. And another one here. I did a few more than this, but this is just to give you an example. And I rendered them, and this is the renders here. So you get the angle, right? Then I took these samples and started dropping them into a sampler. You do this with any sampler. All DAWs come with some kind of sampler these days, and I would get something like this. And there's not a lot of editing. Well, there's no editing went on there. I've basically just edited put some attack on it and quite a bit of release, and that's basically it. And this one is this pad 3 here. That's the sound dropped into the sampler, just one note, not multi-sampled. A bit of attack and release. Pretty lush, huh? One sample just across the entire keyboard. Right? And so you don't hear me clacking away on the keyboard here because the microphone's on the table. I recorded this little MIDI pattern so you get a better listen without me clacking away. Practically Hollywood film score, that. I think that sounds fantastic when you consider that's just one sample. It's not a multi-sample or anything like that. Just one sample spanned across the keyboard. Now, to make the higher notes come out a little bit more, I created another sampler. It's just the same notes that's in that pattern there. But this is not, it's not about the notes of what you play or anything, but this is just what I did for a bit of an example. And on this sampler, I dropped pad 1, this one. So we've got that one, and that one. And the two of them together with a bit of ADSR. You could be watching a Hollywood movie. Obviously I copped out the end chord. I was, you know, it kind of falls apart at the end. I can hear it. But anyway, it really was just if you want to make Lush pads, right? Now, it sounds very stringy, sort of string section, that. And it just, I don't know if it's the ARP Odyssey, but I'm fairly certain you'd be able to do this with any analog synth that you've got, and you could also do it with VSTs, right? But I often load up VSTs and kind of look for this type of sound, and I just can't get it, right? Funny that, is it? VSTs, but I wouldn't even get that from a Juno 60, so I don't know if the ARP Odyssey turning it into a pad machine, sort of, right? Whether its tone lends itself well to that, but it's not like a, you know, you'd never really think from these original ones. I mean, they're not particularly complex, right? But when we do that, and if we want to make it really paddy, right? Well, organic but not like sounding like a string section. Just low pass filter. This is the underwater scene where the aliens appear and everybody gives a big hug, or the aliens. Or maybe up in space. Yeah, that's where I got my inspiration from. Space, my spaceship. I was taking a little trip around the galaxy, saying hello to the aliens, and I went, oh look, here's some chords for you. Really not bad at all, that. Not bad at all. For just 2 samples, you know? No multi-samples, like I say. And it kind of sounds better to me than some of the large multi-sampled pads that I've got lying around, you know? It's quite inspirational as well when I just play around with it. But I suppose at the end of the day, if I look at this section here, I think this was the 4-note chord one. Can't be certain, but let's say it was the 4-note tone sample, right? So it was 4 notes. So each note, that's like 4, 8, 12. Let's say 16. How many of them are overlapping? Let's say about 24 there, right? And in this is 3, 24, 20. So let's say 32 in total. So that's what you need to do, Korg. Okay, you need to build a 32-note polyphonic ARP Odyssey, because that's kind of what's going on here. So if you want Lush pads, you can make them yourself, and it's really not difficult. It was a very simple process, very easy. And obviously if you're into using your hardware samplers, then I'm probably going to take a few of these tones, these ones here, and drop them into my S770, because it loves stuff like this. Anyway, that was all I wanted to say, so thank you for watching.